Let's race!
I never accept death when suffering is owed.
The end of the road begins in a spectacular conclusion to the Toretto family, which has been on our screens for over 2 decades. And of course, no surprise that the last installment will once again be all about family.
Salute me, familia.
You might think that this blockbuster franchise about cars will be pretty straightforward, but you're far from wrong. And after the first 2 movies focusing on the underground street racing scene, and the next 10 heavily focused on big budget action and blowing up stuff across iconic foreign locals. What started off with the original film The Gang stealing a truckload of VCR tapes, today unheard of, and now Dom is flying out in rocket cars dealing with drug lords and Marvel villains. Fast 10 returns to our screen on May the 10th, with the return of late Paul Walker to the family, and all the heroes and villains from the entire Fast universe, beside The Rock.
Help me.
Because
It doesn't matter what you think!
here is a recap of the first 9 installments thus far. The story follows Brian O'Connor, an undercover LAPD officer.
I'm LAPD.
Investigating a gang of street racers who heisted a truckload of VCRs. He's also a gearhead, loves to race, and he likes tuna sandwiches.
What'd you put in that sandwich?
That's really funny.
He heads to a street race with all the upgrades, and the kingpin of the scene is Dominic Toretto. Brian bets his pink slip to his car, loses because he pressed his NOS button too early. And the cops arrive. Brian helps Dom get away from the cops and a rival gang, adding him respect and a well-established placement for an ad for Corona.
As long as it's a Corona.
He begins to fall in love with Dom's sister, Mia, and values Dom's commitment to family,
Nothing else matters.
which clashes with his own loyalties to the police. Brian confronts Dom about the heist and gets involved with the next heist for more VCRs.
Now, whatever it is you're in on, I want in on it too.
He also rats on the rival gang, which puts Dom's crew in danger. The heist goes wrong. Brian saves the a-hole from Dom's crew, and to do this he blows his cover by calling in the air paramedic.
You are the cop!
The rival gang kill one of Dom's crew for not paying up in the race wars. Yes, race wars is a thing. Dom and Brian finish them off, and they have an honourable drag race, jumping over some train tracks. Dom plays Snoop Dogg in his Dodge Charger, wins and crashes. The cops are on the way, but Brian lets Dom get away in his 10-second car.
I owe you a 10-second car.
The bromance is on.
Dom!
Up next is Too Fast, Too Furious. Brian relocates into Miami, and Vin Diesel's Dom goes to work on the Riddick series. Who remembers that? He is now a street racer, with Ludacris and Tyrese joining the team. The cars get a bit more airtime. Wait till you see how high they go in the later movies. The FBI recruit Brian, as they need a racer to infiltrate a drug syndicate run by Theron. Similar to the first movie, the team joined race wars to dig up some dirt. I'm sure Brian learned from his failures from his first undercover job. Ava Mendes, Agent Monica Fuentes, Ava Mendes, joins the team to take down Theron. Tryouts for the cartel's new chauffeurs, and Brian and Roman, aka Tyrese, are recruited to smuggle a wall full of drug money. They are informed by Ava Mendes that they will be executed once the transfer is complete. The cops chase the team, but a cleverly orchestrated mix-up organised by Ludacris, aka Tej, causes a distraction. Ava Mendes is held hostage by Theron, and after the good guys get rid of the bad guys with the help of the Gadget Mobile, they chase down Theron by flying their car straight into the boat, and Ava Mendes is saved. Hooray!
And we ain't hungry no more either, bruh.
You ready, kid?
A whole new team, a high school kid, Sean, with a southern accent, competes in a drag race, but crashes his car because he forgets that cars belong on roads and not through buildings. He is sent to live in Tokyo with his father and gets involved in the world of drift racing.
Drift.
And challenges the top dog on the scene, DK.
Like Donkey Kong!
Drift King.
Another racer, Han, loans his car to Sean but regrets it immediately, as Sean also forgets how to turn. Han becomes Mr. Miyagi and teaches the white boy how to wax on and wax off with the steering wheel.
Wax on, wax off.
Allowing him to master the art of drifting, Han gets confronted by the Drift King because of his girlfriend, Sean, and his uncle Kamata, the head of the crime syndicate in Tokyo, who doesn't allow disrespect. Another race through the streets of Tokyo with some amazing cinematography. Han's car gets smashed by some random driver and explodes with Han still inside. He's dead. We'll get back to that later. Like the X-Men, the timeline here gets a bit confusing.
Let us go talk to the professor.
McAvoy or Stewart? These timelines are so confusing.
Sean proposes a race to Kamata against DK. Long story short, he wins. And what? Dominic Toretto comes up in the post-credit scene.
You ready, kid?
Prior to the events of Tokyo Drift, so Han is still alive and swinging with Dom's crew. They are back in the Dominion Republic, upgrading from VCRs to hijacking fuel trucks. The police are on the trail, and the team decide to split up, Han thinking about Tokyo,
Or they're doing some crazy shit in Tokyo.
and Dom leaves Letty to protect her. To learn 3 months later, Letty has been killed. Brian is back with the FBI and is investigating a Mexican drug lord named Ortega Braga, which leads to him and Dom also tracking down the same person. Back to Race Wars, where we meet Wonder Woman. Like in Too Fast Too Furious, they are recruited to smuggle drugs through an underground tunnel on the border of Mexico. Dom then meets his wife's killer and ignites his car, causing a domino effect. Brian and Dom escape in a Hummer loaded with $60 million worth of heroin. They reunite with Mia, drinking Coronas, and Dom learns Letty was working undercover for Brian to track down Ortega to clear Dom's name.
Letty came to me to clear your name in exchange for bringing down Braga.
They lure Braga in, but he's a decoy. The real Ortega escaped to Mexico. Brian and Dom travel to Mexico and kidnap Ortega to try and bring it back to the United States. Racing through the tunnels, Dom's Dodge Charger crashes into Letty's killer. The police arrive and Dom stands beside his family, him taking the fall, and he gets sentenced to 25 years. The crew don't allow no man to fall. Led by Brian, they intercept.
I would have won that race if you didn't cheat, right?
You hit your head hard.
Dom is free and Brian is now a fugitive. The gang escapes to the favelas of Rio de Janeiro. They pull a train heist, stealing a few cars in the process, but Brian and Dom are captured by a corrupt businessman named Hernan Reyes. They manage to escape and uncover that the stolen cars hold information about Hernan's criminal empire, including the location of $100 million.
$100 million plus in cash houses?
Now bring in Luke Hobbs, aka The Rock. And he's a badass. He's the leading party for Dom's arrest.
We don't ever let them get in the cars.
And arrives in Rio and gives a smackdown on Ray's goon. Mia announces she's pregnant, and the family
We just got bigger.
assemble the Avengers, with Dom, Brian, Mia, Han, Ted, Roman, and Giselle. Dom hits one of the money locations, sending a message to Hernan, burning 10 million in the warehouse. The other 90 million is then secured together in a vault. Dom's hideout is then busted by... They have an epic smash ball and they're all put under arrest. During the transfer, they are ambushed by Hernan's men. They kill Hobbs' team, but Dom and Brian come to the rescue and the Avengers had now recruited the Hulk. The team grab their cars and manage to pull the vault straight out of the building, dragging it across the street, using it like a weapon like it's Mario Kart. They manage to get away, with Hobbs giving them the pardon, but you gotta leave the money. Sure, but wait, they did the old switcheroo, and now they're all ballers.
You believe in ghosts?
The team are at her office, and Dom is dating the Brazilian cop, Elena, and Hobbs shows up to state that Letty is still alive, and working under the new supervillain in town, Owen Shaw, who's running around in the Batmobile. The Avengers arrive in London to track down Shaw. Dommy runs into Letty, and now she's a crazy ex-girlfriend. A street race, because it wouldn't be Fast and Furious without a street race, where Dom challenges Letty. They rekindle, but she still has amnesia. Shaw is building a weapon and assaults a military convoy with Letty and brings the tank to the party.
They got a tank.
The team managed to take the tank out, Letty is thrown across the bridge and Superman swoops in. Shaw is captured but manages to escape in a cargo plane. The Avengers assemble once again, and since they took down a tank, a bomb a Russian aircraft shouldn't be no problem.
Now we got a big ass plane to deal with.
The team chase down and board the aircraft on a runway that is over 18 miles long. Shaw gets thrown out and Princess Diana, aka Giselle, sacrifices herself for Han. Oh yeah, they're a thing. Dom of course emerges unscathed and hands over the weapon to Hobbs. Letty is back in the team and pardons all round. Now, back in the event of Tokyo Drift, the random driver that crashed into Han, Jason Statham emerges, and he is after Dom.
Dominic Toretto.
The team are back in the States, and Brian is a family man. Owen Shaw is in a coma, and Jason Statham turns up, the older brother, Deckard Shaw, a one-man army. He grabs the intel of our beloved team and infiltrates Hobbs' office, and pulls a grenade out on the rock, putting him out of commission. A recap of Tokyo Drift: Jason Statham is sending a message to Dom and the gang that he is collecting kill confirmed, and the rest of the team are next. Dom visits Tokyo and tries to recruit the new Drift King, but there are already too many main characters. A secret agent, Mr. Nobody, recruits Dom's gang for another heist. They plan to use a program called the God's Eye to track down Shaw, but first to locate its creator. It's Missandei from Game of Thrones. Missandei, aka Ramsey, is rescued by the team from a group of super terrorists using flying skydiving cars. They all tuxedo up and go to the ball to retrieve God's Eye in Abu Dhabi from a billionaire hidden in a supercar, with Ronda Rousey leading the security. Of course they fail to get the damn program out of the car, so they decide to drive the car through not one, but two buildings. The team manages to use God's Eye and track down Shaw, but wait, he's teamed up with the super terrorists and it's all a setup. It's now protect the president, as the villains are after Ramsey, and they bring a military aerial drone to the party. Hobbs just flexes, and since they brought the military, Hobbs brings the cavalry, and drives the ambulance into the drone.
Did you bring the cavalry?
Woman, I am the cavalry.
Dom faces Shaw, plays Snoop Dogg again, and then plays Street Fighter.
Fight.
With all the Hollywood action shots, Deckard Shaw gets sent to prison, and the team say farewell to the late Paul Walker.
It's never goodbye.
Dom and Letty are on their honeymoon in Cuba, and Dom is at it again, showing the ropes to the race scene in Havana, this time with vintage cars. A cyber terrorist named Cipher turns up and bribes Dom with a photo to work for her. Hobbs is playing soccer mom, then decides it's secret agent time. He assembles the team for a mission to retrieve an EMP device in Berlin. The team acquire the device, but Dom goes rogue and steals the device for Cipher,
Dominic Toretto just went rogue.
leaving Hobbs in jail, where he encounters Deckard Shaw.
Would you look at that?
They fight over who's got the bigger balls and break out of prison and are recruited by a guy named Mr. Nobody.
Oh, it took longer than I expected.
We then learn that Cipher had kidnapped Dom's ex-Brazilian girlfriend, Elena, and they have a son, and she has leverage on Dom to go steal God's Eye again. Mr. Nobody assembles the team to track down Dom and Cipher, but Dom infiltrates their base and steals God's Eye. Dom is after some nuclear codes and amongst all the chaos meets up with Shaw's mother to devise the plan to get out of this mess.
I'll give you until I finish my cuppa. And I'm fucking thirsty.
Cipher hacks all the cars in the city and helps Dom steal the codes from a convoy. The team try and put a stop to him, pinning him down with gigantic fishing equipment. Of course Dom escapes and shoots Deckard Shaw in the process. He runs into Letty, saves her from Cipher's enforcer, Tormund from Game of Thrones. Because of his treachery, Cipher executes Elena in front of Dom. The villains head into Russia, EMP the place, and hack into a submarine. The heroes gear up and fight off the submarine, while Iron Man and War Machine fly into Cipher's plane and rescue Dom's kid. Yeah, he faked his death, and his brother also had a few mushrooms. Following the plan Dom devised with their mother, the boy is safe and Dom is out for revenge and kills Tormund. Cipher fires back with a missile, but it's got submarine tracking on it and takes it out. Cipher manages to escape the chaos, and the team are having a barbecue again. More Coronas. And Dom names his son...
Meet Brian.
You realize this is classified, right? Not today.
A flashback to Dom's origin. In 1989, his dad, Jack, is racing and dies in a car crash, clipped by a rival racer, Kenny, while Dom and his brother, Jacob, watch as part of the pit crew. Dom confronts and beats Kenny to near death and blames Jacob for meddling with the car. He is then forced to leave town. Fast forward to present day. Cipher is at it again, escaping from Mr. Nobody's clutches, and the team head to Monte Quinto to investigate Mr. Nobody's last location. After Dom realizes Jacob is involved, the team search for Mr. Nobody's plane and find a device called Project Ares. Before being ambushed, they call in Hobbs, but he wanted to play with Superman, so bring in the next best WWE star.
And his name is John Cena!
Jacob, Dom's little brother, and he's playing villain. The heroes regroup and discover Han is connected to Project Ares. Letty and Mia head to Tokyo and find Han. He's alive. Dom finds Jacob in London and confronts him. Roman and Tej recruit Bow Wow, and remember this guy? He's here for a cameo again. They build a rocket car. Most of the team end up in Edinburgh, and Jacob uses a magnet to attempt to steal the second half of Project Ares, but he is captured by Dom's team. Han reveals he faked his death to protect L, the biometric activation for Project Ares. He was working for Mr. Nobody, as well as Jacob, until he went rogue. Jacob and his men infiltrate the team's HQ. He reveals to Dom that he tampered with their father's car as he was told to, so that they could escape death. They capture L, and now Project Ares is complete, and launch a satellite into space. The good guys try to stop the Ares uplink to the satellite using magnets. Tej and Roman rocket into space and destroy the satellite. Remember when they were just stealing VCRs? Jacob is double-crossed, so now he's a good guy, because these movies are just all about family.
Family. Family.
Family.
Familia.
Family.
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 Family. I don't have friends. I got family.
Cipher tries to kill Dom, but fails, because he always survives without a scratch, and Cipher escapes. We will probably see her back with a new haircut. Jacob is pardoned by the gang, as they have done that in every movie so far. And it's barbecue time, with special guests.
Didn't explode.
Yeah, or melt. She's still in one piece.
Thanks for watching, and if you're liking the content, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey, Mia, you better hide your baby, or
You better hide that big ass forehead. I was just joking. Whatever.